What if you could slow down time, simply by leaving Earth? It sounds like science fiction, but it's actually a bizarre truth proven by Einstein and tested in space. Right now, there are astronauts orbiting Earth, aging slower than you are. And no, this isn't a movie plot. This is real physics, and it might just change how you see time forever. Okay, so we've all had that moment, right? You look in the mirror one morning and go, wait a second, when did that wrinkle show up? Aging. It's the one thing we all do, but no one really wants to talk about, except maybe your aunt who sells anti-aging creams on Facebook. But here's the weird part. What if I told you aging isn't the same for everyone? I'm not just talking skincare routines and green smoothies. I mean literally, time ticking differently for different people. Sounds like a glitch in the Matrix, huh? Well, it kinda is. Because in the wild world of physics, time isn't fixed like we thought it was. It bends, it stretches, it slows down. Yeah, wrap your head around that. And up there, floating above Earth, astronauts experience that weirdness firsthand. Their clocks, they tick a little slower, which means their bodies, they age a little slower too. All right, story time. Meet Scott Kelly, NASA astronaut, space veteran, twin brother. Yep, he has a twin, identical, same DNA, same birthday, same dad jokes. But here's where it gets trippy. Scott spent 340 days aboard the International Space Station. Meanwhile, his twin, Mark, stayed here on Earth, doing, Earth stuff. Netflix, burgers, probably paying taxes. Now you'd think after a year they'd be exactly the same age, right? Not quite. Because when Scott came back, his cells told a different story. He had actually aged just a tiny bit less than Mark. Time had literally passed slower for him. Cue the sci-fi soundtrack. Whoosh! NASA scientists were like, wait, this wasn't just theory. It actually happened. It's called the twin paradox, not to be confused with your sibling showing up in your outfit. The paradox goes, if one twin travels at high speed and returns, they'll be younger than the twin who stayed home. And Scott and Mark, they just proved it wasn't a paradox anymore. It was a real-life, testable, bonkers science fact. Scott became the slightly younger twin, a space-time loophole, activated by floating above the Earth. So, how the heck does this work? Let's rewind about 100 years. To a guy with wild hair and wilder ideas, Albert Einstein. He dropped this bombshell. Time isn't constant. It can change. Yeah. Mind faxiar blown. This idea became part of his theory of relativity. And here's the big takeaway. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. It's like you're sneaking through life's aging process in slow motion. So up in space, where astronauts are zipping around Earth at 17,500 mph, time is actually moving slightly slower for them than for us. It's not a ton, just a few milliseconds per year. But hey, if you hate birthdays, that's still a win. But wait, there's more. Gravity also plays a role in this weird time-bending business. Einstein said gravity isn't just a force. It's like a giant, invisible mattress that curves time. The closer you are to something massive, like Earth, the more time slows down for you. So, people on mountaintops, they're aging a tiny bit faster than sea level folks. And in space, less gravity, less time bending, faster aging, or wait. Okay, this part gets tricky. Let's break it down. High speed, time slows, less gravity, time speeds up. So astronauts are in this cosmic tug-of-war between velocity and gravity. In Scott Kelly's case, velocity won. He aged slower overall. If your head's spinning, don't worry. So is the planet. But the point is, time isn't this fixed thing on a clock. It's bendy, elastic, kind of like those yoga pants you swore you'd only wear once. And in space, you can literally stretch time just by showing up. Now, before you go quitting your job to become an astronaut, let's pump the brakes a bit. Yes, time does move slower in orbit, but we're talking milliseconds, not look at me, I'm 25 forever kinda slow. To get serious anti-aging benefits, you'd need to travel really fast, like near the speed of light fast, which, last I checked, is not an option on Expedia, or hang out next to a black hole. Just, don't fall in. So yeah, technically you can age slower, but unless you're ready for a one-way trip into deep space, you're stuck with eye cream like the rest of us. So, why does this even matter? Like, cool science, but what's it got to do with me? Well, here's the kicker. If time can bend, stretch, and slow down, then maybe our understanding of aging, life, reality is just scratching the surface. Maybe we're not as stuck in time's grip as we thought. And that's kind of magical, isn't it? That just by floating above Earth, you're literally changing how time moves. It makes you wonder what else we still don't know. About time, space, or even ourselves. So yeah, you might not be aging slower anytime soon, unless you've got a rocket parked out back. But the fact that it's possible, that's the wild part. And trust me, this rabbit hole goes way deeper. Black holes, wormholes, time travel theories. We've barely scratched the surface of what time can really do. If this video bent your brain a little, hit that subscribe button. You're my kind of people. Leave a comment. Would you float in orbit to age slower? And hey, next time someone says time flies, just smile. Because now, you know better.